Hey, friends, welcome back to Faith to Impact and Income. It's your host, Dustin Hill, and I'm excited to talk to you today. And I appreciate you being here. And I hope that all is well with you, that you're happy, having a great day. I'm recording this on a Thursday. And so, it's almost Friday, which is always great and a lot of fun. We're going to have some family down for the weekend, so it'll be great. And I think the plan is to probably tomorrow, or maybe it'll be Saturday, we'll do kind of a little, we have this little fire pit outside. And so we're going to roast some marshmallows and some hot dogs and things like that. And I know that the kids are super excited about it. They keep asking me, wait, I thought we were doing hot dogs, And so it'd be really fun to be able to do that with them. So looking forward to that. And I hope that you have some amazing plans for this weekend. And, I appreciate you again, just for, tuning into this show and for supporting me. And I also hope that you're really getting a lot of value out of it. I'm really hoping to help you in faith and in impact and in income. So helping you to be able to really be true to your faith and true to your family and be able to be happy there and, to truly follow God. And to also, make an impact in the world. So if you're an entrepreneur, then really making a difference in the lives around you. So whether that's getting in front of more people, or, deepening relationships and impact that you're having right now. And then finally, income, being able to really make the income that you need, so that you can continue to reach more people and continue to make a difference in your own life and in the lives of others. So, again, appreciate you supporting me and being a part of this as well. So it's a lot of fun to have you here. And, I'm excited to talk today about the importance of writing down what God is saying to you. And so, real quick, I just wanted to ask you, what is scripture? We talk about the Bible, we talk about scriptures, what are scriptures? And, if you think about it, really scriptures are experiences and revelation that are given typically to prophets, but essentially to people, right? And so it's these things that happen that we can read about and that we can learn from. And it's revelation that they've had as well, or teachings and things like that. And so if you think about it, each of us should be having our own set of scriptures, essentially. We have moments where God is speaking to us, in our hearts or in our minds, or as we're reading other scriptures, then we're being inspired and uplifted. And that's something that is really powerful. And, again, having experiences. And so I mentioned earlier this week about, fasting and prayer and getting help. And, I wrote those things down, and I'm excited that I did that. And I'll talk to you why, because, so tomorrow, what I'm actually going to be talking about is just what happens when you get advice from other people and when it clashes with something that you're doing. Because it's something that I feel like I've struggled with for a really long time, is I think I always have been looking for external validation for other people to say, yeah, Dustin, this is the right thing. When that may have not been the right thing. And I'll get into that tomorrow. But this week, I've had even a couple of people. So for those of you that have been listening, I'm going to be doing what I'm calling monthly summits or challenges. Totally, I'm going to figure out some of the naming, things like that. What I'm thinking of them is actually more of a mini summit, is it's kind of this new thing that I'm trying out, and kind of a new thing that I think is really powerful. And I've actually tried it before. And so I'm excited to continue to move that going forward. But anyways, as I've been getting feedback from different people, some friends or mentors or, people I look up to, I've had some differing, conversations about it. And so it's been interesting, and I've still figuring out some of the details of what's all included in this monthly, because essentially what I'm going to be having is 5 free interviews, but then you can only watch it live. And so if you want the recordings and some other bonuses and things like that, then you have to pay, and it's a monthly type of thing. And so, anyways, working out some of those details. And so sometimes that can be challenging, right? When you're figuring out, okay, what is the right thing that we need to include and what do people want? And, you can get data from people and people can tell you, but at the same time, that's not everyone either. And so, it's always just part of the challenge, but that's part of the game and it's part of the fun. So, anyways, I've just had different people say different things about what I'm doing. And this, today I had this thought, And I was like, and believe it was from God, just saying, well, what did you write down before? And so I went back to, I've just created this note on my phone where I can continue to add to it. And the title is just Revelation. And so it's just dedicated to things that I really feel like are inspired by God. And so I'm going back into that and looking, I think it was Sunday night when I wrote this down, and it was like, hey, the first thing was, after fasting and praying, I really feel good about this monthly membership. And so I just it's just one of those things that I'm just so grateful that I wrote that down, and I'm grateful for God speaking to me. And so it's really an important thing for us to do is to write those things down when you do feel something from God, because number one, you may forget, or you may, go to a different spot, or you have different, opinions or anything like that. And then you can go back to that and say, okay, well, this is what God said, right? And that's something that we use, in other ways too. If you think about your, trying to understand, some doctrine, or what is the commandment, or what is that, then you go back to the scriptures, you refer to that, and you look at that. Okay, so this is what he's saying. That's what he said to this prophet, and this is what I can do based on that. And so it's a similar concept that for us, we should look back and say, okay, hey, what did God tell me at that point? And so that is super powerful, and it was very comforting to me to be able to do that today, to be able to look back and say, okay, yeah, you know what? Like, that's what we felt. And so that's what we need to do. And so I'm going to go back to that and say, okay, great. And so that's something for sure. One of the reasons that we want to make sure that we write those things down. And the other thing is, there's, number two, that God really wants to talk to us. And I truly believe that. It's, if you think about, right now my kids are all at home, but one day they're going to be off to college or whatever. And just thinking about how when they're off to college, I'm sure they'll be busy. They'll be doing their classes. They'll be, maybe working part-time and doing things like that. And for me, being a parent at home, I'll constantly want to be talking to them, but I probably won't be able to because they'll be busy. And sometimes they don't want to talk to mom and dad type of thing too. But it's like, as a parent, I would always be super excited if they're going to call, right? And I would always be grateful for that opportunity to be able to call them, especially because they're far away. And so it's a similar thing right now that we are far away from God. I mean, we don't have to be far away, like spiritually or, in that way. But as far as you know what I mean? So, but he wants to be talking to us. He wants to, and he's constantly doing everything that he can to help us. But many times we have to be the ones to exercise our faith to open up that line of communication. We need to be the ones to ask him. And so that's, another reason that we need to, write those things down too, is because, again, he wants to talk to us. And so writing those things down will allow us to go back to them. And finally, it really shows that we value what we're hearing, So if you were on a phone call with someone and they were trying to tell you, these 10 different things that you need to go do, and you don't write any of them down, how likely are you to remember those? Probably not that likely. I mean, it's funny because last night we had a soccer game, and so Amy and I are helping coach for that, and Amy was like, hey, I need a few things from the car. Can you grab the stroller and the diaper bag and put my wallet in the diaper bag, but then bring that, and then bring a chair if you want, and then grab water. And so there was like five or six things. And she, in the past, there's been a lot of times where I feel like I will just forget. I'll forget, I can remember three of them, but what are the other two? And so she's like, are you sure you don't want me to just go? Or do you want me to text you? Because a lot of times she'll do that. Like, hey, you're going to the store. Hey, text me these things. And luckily last night I was able to figure it out and do that. But a similar thing though, that, if we're really serious about it, if I go to the store, I'm going to get these things, and I'm serious about, following everything that, Amy wants me to go get, then it's it would make sense for me to have that written down to make sure that I do that. And so similar thing, that when God is talking to us, it's a very important thing for us to write it down. And then it shows the commitment, and it shows the thing, I guess how committed we are to this. So it's like, okay, I'm really committed to doing this. And, and I believe that opens up, more, revelation and more thoughts in the future too, because it's something that we have, taken seriously, that we've written it down. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take action. And I talked about that earlier this week too, just about the importance of being willing to take action, because if you know someone's not going to do anything, then you wouldn't really ask them to do it, right? Like if you just know that they're not actually going to even do it, then why would we even say that? Similar thing that God, I believe that sometimes he may not tell us certain things because he doesn't want us to be accountable if we're not actually going to take action. And so it is an important thing to do. And so that's why for me, it's really powerful and important just to write those things down. So write those things down the next time that you feel inspired by God, you're praying for help and you get some revelation, write it down so you can refer back to it later, so you can show that you're committed to this, and you can make sure that you can follow up and do that. And to be honest, it's all for you, right? I mean, for me, just grateful again that I wrote down that note, because it's something I can go back to. Okay, there's all these different things, and I've done some research and been able to get some feedback from different people, but like, let's remember what I felt, and let's remember what God was speaking to me, because ultimately he's the ultimate creator. He's the one that knows everything. And so if we can tap into his power, his love, we'll be able to continue to make a difference. And I'm super grateful for that. So thanks so much for tuning into this. I hope that it's been helpful for you. If you ever have questions, send me a DM, on Instagram, or, comment on the video. I'm happy to, create anything that you would like to know about or to learn. And I'm excited to continue to tell you more about these monthly summits that will be coming up as well. So thanks again. Appreciate you. And we'll talk to you next.